Hey there, beautiful people. It's Dina bringing another daily dose. I have a question for you. What would you do if God ruined your plans? You had something planned, your life plan, a relationship plan, whatever that was, and God ruined that for you. Maybe he did it because it would ruin you. So this is what I want to talk about today. There are times in my life I thought I had the right plan for my life. It was perfect for me. I was all set to do whatever that was, whether it was a business, a relationship, and I thought that I knew what was best for me. And then my plans were detoured. So the biggest detour plan that I had in my life was the birth of my special needs child, Gracie. So I thought that, at that time in my life, I was 42, that my husband and I were going to be retiring soon. And at that time, I was also running a very large youth outreach. I've shared that on this channel many times. And I looked at that whole situation as a disruption, as a distraction from what I wanted to do, what my plans were. Actually, I ended up looking at that like the biggest challenge of my life. I used to see that almost like a punishment or a prison because I didn't want to do it. Not that I didn't love my daughter, and I've also shared that. I love her very much. I can't imagine my life without her. But at the time, I did not want to be a mom again of a baby. I didn't want to be a mom at 42. And then when I found out she had special needs, I definitely did not want to do that job. I didn't feel equipped for that. I didn't feel like I even had the energy or the ability to be able to do that. I'd already raised 4 kids. Our youngest at the time was 10. Although he was still needed a lot of our time and attention, he was pretty self-sufficient, and I didn't need to spend every moment caring for him. So finally, we're in this groove of being able to be independent. When you have little ones, you're not very independent. Your whole day depends on their schedules and caring for them. So we were finally at a stage where I didn't have to do all of that. Then God comes in and disrupts things. And as I thought, he ruined our plans. He ruined our plans of being empty nesters. He ruined our plans of continuing in our business, all of that. Just the things that I was looking forward to in life. And then when I started realizing all that God had brought into my life as a blessing and not a curse, then I really started to see that he actually did this for my benefit. That he disrupted my plans because there was something better that he had for me that I could have never possibly imagined through this journey. So whatever that is for you, mine might have been my special needs mom journey. It could be a relationship. Maybe you're in a relationship and you believe this is the one for you, and then something happens and then those plans get disrupted. Or maybe there's heartbreak there. Consider the fact that maybe God was protecting you from something down the road that would have been more painful for you. Maybe it's a job that you've been working at for a long time and you're trying to get ahead and you've got this promotion in mind or whatever that is, and then all of a sudden they lay you off. Maybe it's a friendship that you had for most of your life and then something happens and there's a betrayal there, or just you're no longer compatible. You're going in different places in your life, and what you thought was going to last the rest of your life, you've moved past that season. Or it could be something as devastating as losing a family member, whatever that might be. Now, I'm not saying that God would use that to disrupt your life. I'm saying that even that he will use for your good. He will use all things for our good. So I decided to look up in scripture to find out, what does God do to disrupt our plans? Or is there scriptures out there that show God's protection for us? Because I was looking at it in the form of maybe he's protecting me from something I can't see. Now, again, I'm not saying that if you've lost a child or if you've lost a loved one, that God has planned that out so that it could somehow be used for your benefit. That is not at all what I'm saying. I'm talking about things that you had plans for your life, a relationship, a business, just the future for yourself, and then that changes. And sometimes it changes so drastically that you feel like you don't even have a choice to make that any different. That's where I was at with being a special needs mom. I felt like I didn't even have a choice. I felt like it was unfair. I felt like God didn't even, have a conversation with me and say, hey, do you want to do this for me? So I was looking at it all through the wrong lens. I share all my vulnerabilities and all my mistakes and everything on this channel in hopes that it would help somebody else to be able to be free from feeling that way, or be free from the bondage that they find themselves in, from a place of despair or depression to even the point where I was even suicidal. So that's why I share all of this. So at that time in my life, I felt like that was, a punishment to me. That was something that I was not prepared for. God did not get my permission. Not that he needed it, but I was like, you didn't even ask me for this. I would have done anything else. And it took me a long time to really see that that was actually what was there to save my life. It was actually there to draw me closer to him. It was actually there to build our family stronger, to build my marriage stronger, to do everything that God has called me to do now. I would have never seen that when I looked at that pregnancy stick and I was like, are you out of your mind? I am way too old for this. And I don't want to do this. I was so resistant. And then there came a point where I was, okay, I'm actually getting excited about this. I'm excited about the fact that we're going to have another baby. I was excited that it was a girl. I was like, yay, that'll balance out the testosterone in the house, because between my husband and my 3 sons, our oldest daughter was already out of the house by then. I was like, you know, finally can balance out the hormones in this house. But then to find out that she had special needs, it just rocked my world, and not in a good way. It took a long time for me to finally see what God was doing was a blessing. It was actually meant to build me up, to create who He planned me to be, and to have a purpose in all of that. So I want to read you a couple scriptures that actually helped me. And when I looked this up, there's endless amounts of scriptures. There are so many scriptures that talk about God protecting us or shielding us from trouble and all those things. Because I said this in the beginning, you might think it's the best plan for you. You might think it's the best relationship, or this is the right business, or whatever it is that you're doing. And God had other plans for you. And His plans are always, always, always better than ours. I promise you. He's the one that created you. He has the blueprint for your life, and they're always better than what you could possibly ever think, dream, or imagine. Here's a couple scriptures, though, that I want to read to you. The first one is in Isaiah 54:17, and this was in the Amplified Version. It says, no weapon that is formed against you will succeed. Basically, no weapon formed against you will prosper. No matter what it is that the enemy thinks he can bring in and try to take away, it will not prosper. God is protecting you. Psalm 121:7-8. This is in the New Living Translation. The Lord keeps you from all harm and watches over your life as you come and go. I was like, what do you mean He keeps you from all harm? There's a lot of people that get harmed. But again, we don't know what He's doing. We don't know what He sees that we don't see. So I have to believe that He is a man that does not lie. He is who He says He is. So when it says that He keeps me from all harm, then He's obviously seeing something that I don't see, even if it looks like what I'm walking through is harmful. Deuteronomy 31:6, New Living Translation. So be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid, and do not panic before them, for the Lord your God will personally go ahead of you. He will neither fail you nor abandon you. He will neither fail you nor abandon you. He's not going to leave you nor forsake you. That's one I had to rest on many, many times and meditate on that. Isaiah 41:10, New Living Translation. Don't be afraid, for I am with you. Don't be discouraged, for I am your God. I will strengthen you and help you, and I will hold you up with my righteous right hand. That should give you peace, contentment right there, that He is holding you up with His righteous right hand. He's never going to leave you. And then the last one, Psalm 138:7 in the New Living Translation. Though I am surrounded by troubles, you will protect me from the anger of my enemies. You reach out your hand, and the power of your right hand saves me. He saves you. He's right there with you. So when it goes back to that original question, what do you do if God ruined your life? It seems like He ruined your life, but what if there's a bigger plan there that you can't see? What if that plan was to actually prevent you from ruining your own life? So maybe let's go back to the situation where I was talking about my special needs child. What if my plans for my life, I would have been unfulfilled? What I thought was really going to finally give me peace and finally give me freedom and independence and all of that into my old age, that maybe that would have never given me fulfillment like my life does now. Maybe I would have never been able to truly get into a personal relationship with God. I was serving Him at the time, but honestly, I look back now, I didn't know who He was. I didn't know who He was for me. I didn't know who I was. I didn't know my true identity. I certainly didn't know how to take authority over an enemy that was trying to kill, steal, and destroy my life. I knew none of that. And although I was serving Him and helping hundreds and hundreds of teens in our youth outreach, I did not know who God truly was for me or who I was for Him or any of that. So who knows where my life would have been if this didn't happen. But I know that when I went into the deepest parts of my life, it drew me closer to Him. Now, I don't think that He caused anything bad to happen in my life, and I don't think that He caused anything bad to happen to Gracie. I believe she is who she is, and I believe that God knit her together intricately, and she's a masterpiece just like any one of us. But He used that situation where I felt afraid. He used that situation where I was angry. He used that situation where I felt like I was so unqualified so that I could partner with Him, so I could surrender my life, so I could learn who I was as His daughter first, so that I could be a better mom and a better wife and a better human being. So I am grateful for all the trials and all the challenges that I've gone through, because it's helped me to be who I am today. So when it looks like a disruption, or it looks like God has ruined your plans, it's possible that He's doing that so we won't ruin our own plans. We won't ruin our own life. So if we look at it from a different perspective, it should bring you hope. It should bring you healing. So I hope this encourages you. And remember that God loves you. He has a plan for your life. He's not trying to harm you or hurt you or disrupt your life. It's going to bring purpose. It's going to bring you glory. It's going to bring him glory. All things are going to work out for your good. I love you. And just have an awesome day. Whatever you're going through right now, know you're not alone. So anyway, can't wait for us to be back together again. See you later.